NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing on Fox is brought to you by Budweiser. It's time for a fresh one. Grab a Budweiser. The race is on. Welcome back to Darlington, South Carolina. We're just finishing up the fourth caution of the day for Kasey Kahne's flat tire, as you'll hear Dale Earnhardt Jr. before the pit stop talk strategy with Tony Eury Jr.
You'll be the lucky dog there. I'll be that lucky dog. Hey, Junior, let's go all the way back to where we started, man, because we just keep tightening it up, getting in, and trying, and through the middle, trying to turn down off of 2. And it's just real pushing getting into turn 1. And it seems like we just keep making that worse and worse.
Well, what it sounds like is, and he was talking to Tony Eury Jr., which is the car chief on that car, is they've been trying to fix that car in one place, probably from the center off. They've really not been fixing that, but they've been hurting it getting in the corner. So let's just go back to where we started when we were so good. But I do think the racetrack is different from then.
Jimmy Johnson 6th to 4th on his pit stop.
Get ready. Green flag. Green.
Jamie McMurray brings him up to speed and across the stripe. 17 cars on the lead lap. Pole sitter Kasey Kahne, who brought out that caution. One of the cars 1 lap down.
Don't take them long to get up to speed with that 800 horsepower. Start off at 55 miles per hour, going off into 1 and 2 at well over 150 miles an hour.
There are 15 cars 1 lap down. That round of green flag pit stops pretty much split the field in half.
And there's nothing any better when they tell you you're going to get a lap back. That gives you, I tell you, it changes your attitude. And you heard how calm Junior was. If he'd have been a lap down, he wouldn't have been that calm.
Critics have debated the free pass rule. NASCAR instituted it when they eliminated racing back to the caution flag. They accepted the premise that at least one driver might have had a chance to race the leader back and get back on the lead lap, so they legislated it, made it a rule. It's had defenders and detractors, but so far it's worked pretty well.
Yeah, you know, I don't really like it, but I don't really have a problem with it anymore. It's like everything we do. Once we get racing, it is what it is, and you just go on.
Well then, buddy, got a little bit of breathing room here.
Now they're coming up on lapped cars that are battling hard. Kevin Harvick there with Ryan Newman, who had to serve a penalty and go 1 lap down for knocking over the commitment cones at the entrance to pit road.
And what you heard Jimmy Johnson's spotter, the 48 car, is told him as he went down the backstretch as he goes by Greg Biffle here in the 16 car, that is the battle for third, is you always want to know, Darrell, I think as a driver here, what's behind me. He told him you've got a little bit of breathing room behind you, so you can search around just a little bit.
Yeah, because you can run a lot of different lines here. You can try it a little lower, and you can get right up there next to the wall. If you got, you know, somebody breathing down your back, and you got to worry about them getting under you and wrecking you.
You're riding with Kasey Kahne, who was the pole sitter, but cut down that tire, now finds himself 31st at the tail end of the car's 1 lap down. Matt?
His crew chief, a 2-time winner here at Darlington. Tommy, is the car okay? That seems to be. We must have got a flat as soon as we left pit road coming in that last stop there, and this car was way off from the beginning there, so we got 4 fresh Goodyears on, no problem with the Dodge car. We'll hopefully get our lap back and go racing.
Restarted 32nd, 1 lap down. In fact, Mike, Kasey Kahne came on the radio and said, please, you guys talk to me. I heard a lot of silence. The more you talk to me, the better. His spotter, Michael Landis, sounds more like an air traffic controller trying to work him through the traffic.
All right, now how about Greg Biffle, because Biffle overcame a strategy miscue, got himself back up as high as 2nd place, but Steve, does he have a problem?
Oh, Mike, he thinks he's got a flat tire. They're trying to decide what to do right now. It is confirmed he does have a flat tire, and when they come, if they come in, or when they come in, rather, they might just change 2 tires and get back out so they lose less time.
I don't know, DW. I believe I'm going to come to pit road, even under green. I'm going to go ahead while I'm there. I'm going to get me 4 tires because you've already wore the left sides out at this place as much as the right sides.
But he obviously doesn't have a flat tire. He's got something going on here, you know, like maybe he thinks he's got a tire going down, but he's running awfully well to have a tire problem at this point.
Look at that green car, Darrell. The fellow who dominated this track for many years, David Pearson, who leads all drivers with 10 victories. He'd lead a lot of laps, but sometimes he'd just kind of sneak up on you. Bobby Labonte is doing that today. Currently finds himself in 5th.
Yeah, I really am impressed with the job that the Fatback and the boys have done to get him back in the hunt, because he was really complaining about that car halfway through the race.
I tell you who else I'm impressed with is that orange car back there, Robbie Gordon in that 31. Qualified back in 29th. I talked to his crew chief, Chris Andrews, this morning. Said, Larry, we've had good race cars. We just have no luck. I mean, in 4 races this year, they've had 2 DNFs, and they came in here 32nd in points. But he's backing up what he told me this morning.
Yeah, unlike a lot of guys I watch, he's kind of timid here. Robbie's not timid.
And he did run the Busch race yesterday.
Steve has an update on 4th place Greg Biffle.
Well, Mike, Greg Biffle thought for sure that he had a tire going down. Now he thinks it's a brake rotor on the right front. A brake rotor. They're trying to hang on to see exactly what it is.
And I think what sometimes happens, Darrell, maybe you'll warp a brake rotor and it'll vibrate, almost makes you think you've got a flat tire.
Yeah, you don't use a lot of brake here. What you do when you use them real hard, real fast, and you'll get...
Turn 2, Matt Kenseth goes around. Didn't see how that started, but...
Caution is out.
Oh, more cars, more cars.
Ricky Craven in the 32.
Scott Riggs. And now everybody woes up on the brakes and we'll get through. But Craven's car looks pretty well done.
Ian got us in the back.
Yep, Riggs got into Craven, but Kenseth will drive away.
I think Kenseth spun, the 10 slowed down, and 32 slowed down, the 10 got into him.
Now, I'm quite sure saying Matt Kenseth, the 17 car, as we watch Scott Riggs with a lot of damage, but Matt Kenseth, our points leader, will stay on the lead lap, I'm almost sure.
I don't know, Larry. He's creeping along down the back. I think he's trying to keep tires from tearing up the body on the car.
Left side looks pretty well torn up already.
But he has a flat left rear tire, is exactly what Darrell's saying.
That bad boy comes apart, it'll rip the body off that thing.
Let's see what happened here at lap 161 from Ricky Rudd.
He just got in there on the flat, and that'll loosen you up sometime a little bit. He must have already been a little free, and the car just came around with him.
So he's down on the apron. Looks like, no, he's not coming back up.
But you know what? He's got a right front tire that looks like, of course, I know he spun, but you don't usually have flat spot tires too bad here. He may have had a tire problem.
All right, guys, he's on pit road right now, and what they did, smart move by Robbie Reiser in that group. He was close to going a lap down, so they just changed the left side tires now. He'll go around, get caught back up, then come get those fresh right sides.
But that right one is flat, too. You don't want that thing to come apart.
Ricky Craven, last year's winner by 3 inches. This year, gets run into. Ricky's okay. You see the Hans device, the head and neck support, still on his shoulders as he gets the helmet off.
And I'm pretty sure our pardon goes to Ryan Newman in the 12 car. So he will be back on the lead lap. A lot of damage on Casey Mears in the 41 car. Great run at Atlanta last week. Had that engine expire on him. Great run at Las Vegas.
Pit road is closed. Several cars there damaged, being worked on, including Brian Vickers and Scott Riggs. We're under yellow at Darlington. NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing on Fox is brought to you by Ford, the official truck of NASCAR. By the new 4 for All pizza. Everyone gets the toppings they want, only at Pizza Hut. By Nextel, coast-to-coast walkie-talkies in under a second. NASCAR and Nextel, partners in speed. And by New Levitra, new choice, here now. Ask your doctor today. Caution out for Matt Kenseth's spin in turn 2, which caught up Ricky Rudd, Scott Riggs, and Ricky Craven. Craven's car has been hauled back to the garage. The others are on pit road under repair. They're going to open pit road this time for lead lap cars. And there are the front 5 on your screen at 164 laps.
Now, Matt Kenseth did stay on the lead lap because he pitted before pit road was open. When we restart this race, he'll have to start at the tail end of the lead lap of the longest line.
Dick Berggren.
Jimmy Johnson has had great pit stops all day. Tire changes. Corey Quick and Joe Zanolini have been right on their game. Every single stop has been in the 13-second bracket. And just as he came in this time, crew chief Chad Canal said, no home runs, make it smooth. Steve.
This caution is a big break for Greg Biffle, running in the top 4. They thought they had a flat tire, then perhaps a brake rotor problem. They will change all 4 tires and make air pressure adjustments. Big break for Greg Biffle. Matt.
Steve, a great run going for the second straight trip to Darlington for Jimmy McMurray. He said the car, after that wedge adjustment, had gone from loose to just a tick on the tight side, but he didn't want to make any adjustments to the 42 car.
Kurt Busch pulls out after making his stop. He's been a contender all day long. And let's add Brian Vickers and Casey Mears to the cars involved in the accident at turn 2. The first caution of the day was Michael Waltrip back at lap number 9. He was the first driver in this race to test the new safer barrier as he lost a left rear tire entering turn number 3 and slid up into the fence. He is back in the race after repairing damage. A year ago, that car might have had to go to the garage for the day. Here's Dick Berggren with today's WebMD Safety Report.
For this race, for the first time, the new safer barrier is installed at all 4 turns here at Darlington Raceway. The barrier is 30 inches wide. Its construction, 10 sheets of impact-absorbing foam, and then square steel tubing. Now, the drivers always ran right up against the fence, but now they've got the fence 30 inches closer to them. So guess what? Bam, a blue car. Bam, a red car. And some black tire mark as well. One of the things that's happened here as a result of the new safer barrier is that the groove has narrowed up. Look, there's hardly room for 2 cars to sit side by side on this turn, even if they're not moving. But at 170 miles an hour, this is the limit, because right down here, the track flattens out. The groove has gotten a whole lot more narrow, and as a result, bouncing up into that wall is a whole lot easier.
For information on how to keep your family safe and healthy, visit WebMD.com. Now, we talked about Matt Kenseth pitting before the pit lane was open. You are allowed to do that. However, you are not allowed to pass cars under caution and pull up to the safety car to make that pit stop. And that is what's being discussed right now. NASCAR is saying that Kenseth pulled up in line to pit, and they want to pull him in and hold him a lap for that.
Not getting my dog in that fight? I don't know. I can't really say for sure about that.
But guys, real quick, I'm going to tell you what, 2 crews that really shined on that pit stop. Jeff Hammond's been talking about it. Jimmy Johnson in that 48 car, that first pit box, he got in, got his work done. He won the battle off pit road, and there you see it. His guys know it. But another crew that really shined, Robbie Gordon's Chris Andrews-led crew, they're going to come out in 3rd position. Good pit stop for that group.
Yeah, actually giving you a black flag to 17. They don't black flag many cars. Hey, you know what? Berggren's down there and he's talking about the soft walls and all that stuff. This track has gone through incredible changes over the last several years. Front straightaway to the back and so forth, single pit lane. This is the 101st race here. And that means this joint has a history. And what you can learn is this average 13 cars normally finish on the lead lap here. And there's usually 5 to 9 cautions during the races here. So that's a bit of history that the crews and the crew chiefs can use to help them determine how they're going to run their race.
They're going to black flag Matt Kenseth, hold him 1 lap for pulling up to pit. That's the decision of the NASCAR officials. We'll be right back.